put it in the wash. So it's time for maybe one or two extra games, I think. So figured might as well stream. So last game I played Hecarim, went actually pretty well. Um, he's one of my favorite champions right now at the moment, just because of his ultimate and his ability to build really tanky without having to give up on damage. So just looking at my profile for a bit. Right now, Leon is still my most played champion. Started season 3, I played a lot of support, and Leon is definitely one of my favorites, together with Lulu. Both are pretty decent. Leona is more of an aggressive support, where you go all in, while Lulu is more um, a ranged poking champion. And both have their uses. However, yeah, it's depending on the matchup, you should choose either one. So Hecarim is definitely my favorite jungler. I haven't played J4 in a while. Maokai has been a hero I've always mastered pretty decently, and I play him from time to time. So right now I've around same wins and losses, so that's pretty nice. I would say I'm a really good player. However, I still play pretty decently on and off, and I'm hoping to get to silver 1 and then maybe gold 5 in the coming month or something. So right now I'm at 81 league points. With a little bit of luck, I might be able to get my placement matches with the next game. However, I first have to win it, of course. So instead, let's look at performance. You can see that my Maokai and Hecarim are pretty decent. I win around 2 out of 3 games with Hecarim, and I win about 80% with Maokai. So that's really nice. Match. It's nice to see. Last 4 ranked games I won, by the way, so that's really nice. But it means that you get better, and well, it's going to be a challenge to see if we can win the next one. Okay, so you can see that my most played champions are mostly just jungler support type oriented champions, and that's actually what I play most. So I'm just going to try and call out AD jungle top. I can play support. Mid is definitely not my best thing. So I'm just waiting for. Nee. So this is my roommate.
Hi.
Wat anders dan?
Als je het zo doet,
Ja.
dan doet je mic het wel, maar die niet. Want op je vorige streams was allemaal muziek te horen en dat wordt geblokt door YouTube.
Okay. So I just got a tip.
Je kan wel muziek zeg maar via dit luisteren.
Ja.
En als je hem zo...
Maar ik wou juist voor de rest doen.
Ja, dat is wel chiller, maar ik kan het niet op YouTube zetten.
Ja, dat is waar. So apparently we have the YouTube channel with a couple of friends in our home, and just because I was listening music meant that we weren't able to put it on YouTube. So my roommate just told me that I probably shouldn't do that. But nonetheless, let's see what we're having. We get a call for AD, which is nice because I play it pretty decently, but it's not my specialty. And a call for Nothing to play jungle. So first pick support, always nice, I think. And next is Maokai pick. I kind of like Maokai myself, but I'm not really sure where he falls off against. So let's see. Apparently Hecarim, this is nice because that's the hero I wanted to play. Oh, apparently they want a Cyan jungler, which is okay, so got that. I'm going to call for top. I'm not really sure about the Cyan jungle pick, just because Cyan isn't really a standard pick lately and is very easily kiteable. So looking at the current team comp, it shouldn't be too much of a problem, just because there are not a lot of slows around. But I am kinda wondering if it will work out. So I see the Nasus pick. Yeah, I see the Nasus pick coming out, and immediately I decide to go for
All will die.
because of his ultimate and his damage all around. So definitely a matchup that can be in my favor. However, every matchup depends on how it's played, and we definitely have a strong jungler on the enemy team. So I take my standard build on Renekton, which is cooldown reduction for the reduction on my ability, which is very strong on Hecarim. That's what I mean, Renekton. I follow up with weapon expertise and Havoc for extra damage and target armor reduction. Then I pick up Vitality for the 10% melee critical strike and the Frenzy for extra attack damage. Follow up with attack damage from brute force, armor penetration with thunder, and extra damage. So a pretty offensive build. I'm going to counter the damage by taking a cloth armor and 5 pots, just to sustain a bit against Nasus and just to be very strong. Though I'm still wondering if perhaps I should take a cloth armor, 2 pots and a ward, or 3 pots maybe, I don't know for sure. 2 pots I do know for sure. Yeah, picking 2 pots. And then the ward is better against ganks. However, Maokai tends to gank through Tribush, so I'm not sure if that would be good for me. Let's just say that if I get ganked, I'm going to be fucked either way, so it's not really a challenge. I see Nasus picks up Ghost, which is definitely a good pick on Nasus. However, it does hurt him a bit in escapability. So, definitely a difficult matchup. Meltar is pretty strong, single target DPS. So we'll definitely have to play pretty decent, try and get ahead early on. If I'm looking at the enemy team, I see that Draven and Nasus are their melee damage, or at least are attack damage champions, while Malzahar, Maokai and Soraka are all AP based. A lot of people underestimate Maokai to the point that they think he does no damage. However, he's actually pretty strong. He does a lot of damage, and you should always keep that in mind. His ganking is pretty decent just because of his W, which is like a flash. You move towards the enemy champion and you stun him for a little bit. That will allow you to move to the other side of the champion and Q backwards to the position you want him to go. Because his Q, which is the slam, I don't know exactly the name of it, but it slams you back a bit. So a good Maokai gank will always W on the enemy target, move between the his friendly tower and the person himself, and smack him a big pat backwards. This gives you about, let's say, 1 or 2 extra seconds to put your damage out. So this can definitely be the difference between winning and losing. The real power in Maokai, I think, is his ability uses ultimate. His ultimate is a 20% damage reduction, I believe. I could check this. Yeah, it's a 20% damage reduction, and any damage received by the people in that are in the ultimate, um, it returns the damage like a kind of charge, and if he pushes his ultimate again, then he deals damage to anyone still in the circle. So it's really a very strong team fighting ultimate. However, early game, when there are not a lot of team fights, it's not really powerful. Late game, however, 20% damage reduction can definitely mean the difference between winning and losing. So Maokai is definitely a strong jungler. Yeah, he's in season 2 he was played definitely a whole lot. However, in season 3 people have kinda played him a bit less. The jungler for TSM, the odd one, really played Maokai a lot, a long time ago. However, the large amount of the Blade of the Rune King kinda meant that the hero has been played a bit less. But it doesn't take away that Maokai is a very strong jungler who, if he gets a little bit fat early game, becomes quite indestructible.
Minions have spawned.
To be honest, I don't expect the enemy team to invade our jungle, just because Maokai can use his E to put 3 stacks on wolves and almost instantly insta-skip the wolf camps. However, this requires him to be at wolves from 1 minute 5 seconds to 140. And because Maokai is very blue dependent, this means that he is most likely not going to go for an invade. So I help out to give Cyan a smiteless, cost him 2 health potions. However, he's able to save his smite, and by that he will be able to take a red buff pretty fast. I see that he's coming top, which means that he's going to go for an early gank. So it's my task to try and get some damage out on the enemy Nasus. So we get him around 60% down, which is quite okay. However, of course it would have been better if we were able to get a kill out of it. That isn't the case. However, I'm able to quickly assert lane dominance, and by it I will be able to push towards the enemy turret. I see Cyan is going into the enemy jungle, and quickly Nasus responds, coming towards the enemy team, and we are able to force a lot of abilities on the enemy team. However, the mid quickly comes to the rescue, resulting in at least 1 kill for the enemy team. So a lot of flashes are used, and we give up kill. And I noticed that Meltar is still staying around. So pretty bad engagement for us. And we have a very weird start. Lux seems to be missing most of her bindings, which is actually pretty bad. And I take a lot of damage just from the res put out by Malzahar. So all in all, not too well of a start, but definitely something we can get back again from. However, I will have to play my best. Nasus is not too strong early game. However, if he is able to farm up his kills, then it will quickly become more dangerous. So right now I'm just trying to make a couple of good trades and maybe force him out of lane. He's quite low on mana, so that's actually in my advantage. However, I do think my guy will be trying to gank anytime soon. So I just use my E to go in, take him with my W, I stun him, I use my Q, give him an auto attack, and I E back out again, allowing me to deal a lot of damage and return back to my own lines. So my Q just came up a bit too late. Most likely Nasus has already gone back, and that means that I can safely push into the enemy turrets and go back myself to buy my first items. So right now I'm just wondering what I should buy. And I decide on building boots at least, so I buy Ninja Tabi, a potion, a couple of potions and a ward. Just to increase a bit of sustain and allow me to deal a bit more damage. So I'm a bit ahead in farm, however Nasus has an assist. And he has 3 potions, boots and a belt of valor. Emblem of valor I mean. I think it's a belt because it looks like a belt. So item wise I would say that he's a bit ahead, but just because I have Ninja Tabi will mean I have a bit more move speed, which will allow me to perhaps make a couple of decent trades. So I use my Q to thin out the wave a bit. The enemy Nasus has a pretty big wave right now, so I need to clean it up before I really start to engage a lot. So every time I'm in range to make a trade, I will definitely try and do this. And right now I reached level 6. And I pop my ultimate just to get on the tower. I don't die, however I don't have my ultimate, I don't have any vision, so I'm actually I have to be very careful right now, because most likely Maokai is still around. So I play a bit passive just to allow him to go away, and afterwards I will definitely try and exchange again. Any CS Nasus gets is going to hurt me in the end because of his Q, which gives him around 3 damage on his Q every time he uses it. So if you don't watch out for Nasus, then he will gradually become a very terrifying opponent. So that's something I have to prevent. Okay, I noticed that an enemy jungler and mid are trying to steal our blue buff, and I decide to go in the hopes of taking him out. So I'm not able to do anything, and the Lux is actually playing pretty bad. She hasn't landed a single stun yet, so that's a bit bad for me. However, I am able to protect the blue buff. So right now we're pretty far behind, just because we have 1 kill less, and the enemy jungler is just pretty much dominating the game. So I push in, decide to go back, and I'm really wondering what I should buy right now. So I decide to pick the first part of my brutalizer, just to increase my damage a bit. I pick up a ward, 2 potions, and head back into lane. Meanwhile, let me just see at where our kills are. Graves is having 2 kills right now, so that's pretty nice to have that. Cyan, our jungler, died twice, which doesn't really surprise me, seeing as Siren isn't really a common jungler, and most of the time when you see this, it means that he's just, yeah, I tend to notice that using like the really uncommon junglers means that they either they win like really hard, or they just fail a bit. But nonetheless, let's check my CS. I'm 50 CS against Nasus. Nasus has 55. I was kind of hoping to be a bit ahead, however the focus on the lane and the times where I had to counter jungle meant that I haven't really had enough time to really keep him small. So I'm able to push up the wave against his turret, and I try and put some damage on. Right now Cyan ganked bot lane, allowing for Graves to pick up yet another kill, and this means that bot lane is getting pretty strong, so that's good. Top lane is going quite decent for me. I mean, I'm not winning it straight on, however I'm still in lane, even though I've been ganked a couple of times, and I've just managed to survive, and I've already put down over 50% damage on the turret, so that's okay. They managed to take down bottom turret, and they move towards mid lane, where Maokai has definitely been putting a lot of damage on the turret. So I really hope that they are able to keep that okay, but right now I'm just hoping to survive against Nasus. So Nasus is getting a bit stronger, however I'm still able to get a bit of damage on him. I make a mistake where I receive 2 tower shots, which is not that big of a deal, seeing as I am building a lot of defense. However, it's always nice to not to take tower shots. So I'm trying to keep harassing Nasus just because I have some inherent sustain, and I really want to force him on the turret, where he will not be able to deal a lot of pressure to the other lanes. So I keep trading. Every time I have my Q up or my combo, I will try and out-trade him. He has a pretty strong slow, and he's actually pretty decent at farming up his Q. So I reach around 1200 gold, allowing me to at least buy my Blood Riser, a ward and a couple of potions. And I quickly go back to pick it up. So I fill up my items, go back into lane, and right now I'm a bit scared just because I haven't received any ganks, and I'm not able to out-damage Nasus. So Nasus is pretty much getting a lot of free farm on his Q. And I'm not really able to put down enough damage to really keep him away from CSing. So that's unfortunate. However, I do try to keep a lot of damage, and he tries to all-in me. Don't really know why, because I have my ultimate up, and he really won't be doing that much damage to really kill me. So he's probably going back, and I really want to prevent this, because every second he is back, I'm able to put some extra damage on. So he was able to go back without me being able to stop him, and as a result I tried to push up a bit, just quickly push up to the tower, making him miss a couple of CS and put some extra damage on the tower. So the moment I'm able to destroy his tower will really mean that I have some roaming potential. So that's something I really want to do. I decide to stay, don't know if it's too smart, but yeah, at least I put down the tower, and I quickly move back just because I am expecting Maokai to gank, and just as I say it, I'm being ganked by Maokai. So that's good. So I put down a ward, and right now I'm just deciding on whether or not I want to stay. I decide to stay just because I see Maokai still, and I see Nasus coming back into lane, and I don't really want that much pressure on my tower. So I stay a bit in the jungle, and I just farm up. I really can't do a lot against Nasus, and he's going to be really strong, but I don't really have a choice just because I'm not really putting down a lot of damage. So I see a sign coming in for a gank, and I just quickly hide in my bushes. You can really... So we're able to take him down quite far, however. Damn it. So I get ganked just because I didn't pay attention, and the enemy saw my dive, came top, and luckily we only get one counter kill. But seeing as both Lux and Cyan came top, in the end it means we can't really make anything happen out of it. Meanwhile, bottom lane seems to be going quite well, I think. And they're almost pushing up towards the inner tower. So that's actually pretty good. I noticed that the middle tower is around 50% health, and because my top lane is pushed out, I decided to move towards mid lane. This is for two reasons. One, I see Maokai here, and I saw that Malphite is low, so we have a pretty good chance of fighting and perhaps pushing for Baron. So right now I just want to push up mid lane and perhaps get some damage down on it, take the turret. If we do so, we will have a pretty decent chance of taking Dragon. So I'm just killing the minions, waiting for our minions to go and take the turret shots. Afterwards we'll definitely be able to move towards Baron. So Nasus has stopped farming his Q, which is definitely good for him. However, it means that I'm free to push towards Dragon, allowing for a team for a lot of extra gold, and yeah, just take advantage of the fact that he showed well. So Malzahar was going back because he was pretty low on mana. I see that he didn't go back in the end, but stayed around, meaning he didn't have too much mana and wasn't really able to challenge our efforts at taking Dragon. So we're able to pick up Dragon, and then afterwards I'm moving with our AD carry towards bottom lane, hoping to push down a second turret. Though because I'm missing a lot of vision on enemy heroes, I decide to at least put down a ward before making any further moves. I see both Malzahar and the jungler and the bot lane present, and there's a big chance that also Nasus will be around. So perhaps not a very decent chance to go in, though I see that the enemy mid gets stunned, and because of it I decide to go in, and we trade 1 for 1, 2 for 1, so that's that, 3 for 1, so we actually get pretty much destroyed. Okay, so we take another one, 3. So we're 3 for 4, and perhaps there's a chance that he may be picking up one more. So not a perfect engage, but definitely it could have been worse. So I decide that I want to pick up some extra sustain, pick up a ward, potion, move towards top lane. So I missed a lot of farm top lane just because I was at the other lanes, but we made a lot of objectives happen. So in the end, I don't think it really was that bad. So right now we pushed out all the forward inhibitors, and the best thing for us to do right now would be to buy a lot of wards and to extend our vision. When you push down all the front towers and you put down wards, you allow yourself to get a lot of vision on the enemy team, and you prevent incoming ganks, and you're able to quickly react to enemy players moving to other lanes. So buying wards is definitely a decent thing to do, as it will just allow you to snowball your game even further. So right now we're 10 and 8. I do think we're about 1 to 2,000 gold ahead, which is pretty nice in terms of advantage. However, it's not that big of a lead that you can say it's GG or anything. So I just push out the lane a bit, check if I can find any camps, and as you can see, we're now taking control of the enemy jungle. So I move over to the mid lane, just because Maokai isn't really able to put enough damage out to quickly push forward the lane. I notice Nasus is also around mid, and the entire friendly team is in the enemy jungle. So I try to push up the lane a bit, and perhaps stop Maokai and Nasus from helping the bottom lane, where it's now 3v1 or 4v1, 4v2 I think. So all in all, we're pretty much controlling the game, picking up objectives where the enemy team isn't able to, and are playing pretty reactively right now, so that's good for us. And we're able to pick up another turret for it. So right now, what I'm trying to do is keep every lane pushed up to force the enemy champions to focus their defending their lanes instead of making plays. So to be honest, if we keep playing like this, we'll definitely pick up an advantage, even though Nasus is now at 132 farm. Nasus is going to be really big late game, just because he's been able to farm up his Q, but this doesn't mean that it's game over, just because we have a lot of crowd control in the form of me, Sion and Leona, and Lux has the binding as well. It just means that late game we'll probably have to be focusing on keeping Nasus down. I'm just looking at his items. He's mainly building Brutalizer first for the armor penetration, followed up by an Aegis of Legion, while Soraka isn't building any support items yet. So I'm just looking at our support. He's also building Aegis of Legion, which probably means that Nasus will likely finish it sooner. However, since Leona is also building one, it will probably mean that we can make sure that we're both having an Aegis in the end. Aegis is really strong just because of the passive it gives. It gives you a lot of armor and magic resistance and stuff. And it's actually against magic heavy teams, like if you have 3 or 4 AP champions, it will allow you to give a lot of resistances to your carries and stuff, and it tends to work out really well against AP champions, but it's definitely smart to build it also against... You can also build it against other champions. So we put up a lot of damage on the enemy team, but we lose 2 people for it. So in the end, it's really the question if it's worth it. I think as long as we're able to defend this tower without getting too much damage on it, it will definitely be not a good trade, but one which can be okay. I'm noticing that Soraka is putting out a lot of healing and allowing her team to stay in the game a lot longer. So I'm really wondering if this isn't going to give us a lot of trouble. So I move up towards our tower, which is not most likely going to be destroyed. So Leona is coming towards me. And I'm not able to make anything happen. So I do stay in lane and I try to pick up some CS. However, I can't stay too long as there are already 2 champions showing. So definitely a bad engage for us at the enemy tower. I got a bit greedy and I tried to dive the tower just to take it down. They took advantage of this by picking me out, and since I am the main tank in the team, they were able to quickly push down our team further. So I notice a lot of people showing mid, and I allow Lux to pick up the farm and move towards Dragon, which has just been taken. So Leona claims that there is no tank, which is actually not true, since both me and Leona should be able to tank. However, right now I'm not really strong yet, because I need to build some HP and magic resist. So, in hindsight, I do believe that buying the Vampiric Scepter really wasn't that good of an item buy, just because I'm not going to buy the Bloodthirster really soon. I'm pretty low on health, and I really need to be able to sustain some more in lane. Meltzar is getting pretty big, I think. He is right now 4 in 3, which is pretty decent. And I just try to get some extra HP in the jungle, get up some farm, hoping to get close to the 1000 gold mark where I can buy a giant's belt. I notice the wave is pushing forward on top, so I move towards top lane just to gather up some farm. I've been roaming quite a bit, but seeing as Nasus also has been roaming, it really isn't that bad. I am starting to wonder if we will be able to carry this game, because their Nasus is a pretty big carry, and the Meltzar is able to quickly keep people down and allow Nasus to get close and get the kill. So it's not that I'm scared or anything, but I am wondering if we'll be able to put out enough damage while sustaining ourselves to prevent the enemy Nasus from tearing apart our team. We really need to be able to focus him down pretty quickly, because else we'll just be slaughtered by his ghost ultimate Q combi. So we're back at the same place we were just now, though now I really don't want to go in and just push the wave in. Our top lane is pushing forward for now, so we can just wait until one of the enemy team believes that he should go in top lane, so we have a 4v5 situation. So our team is actually playing a bit more careful, which I believe is very smart, and I take a bit of damage from the enemy Meltzar. It seems like the enemy team wants us to come back up to the tower again, seeing as it worked so well for them last time. But that's probably not going to happen, as we are now quite equal in CS and kills and stuff. So I pick up 1000 gold, so I have enough for my giant's belt. However, I don't want to go back, as there's a very big chance that we all have a team fight really soon. Or at least if I leave, the chances are that the enemy team will be able to hard dive us, allowing to get a kill. So I see Leona moving forward, I ping her to go back. I'm quite wondering which of the teams will have the late game. I do believe Nasus is really strong. However, Soraka only becomes a presence late game if she's able to build some AP instead of only support items. So right now we're a bit on the defensive, and we have to defend against Nasus pushing. So I put some arrest down, not too much because Nasus is getting pretty tanky. So pop the ultimate and get focused down. So right now the enemy team is getting pretty strong, and we're not really playing really decent, which is resulting in us getting pushed back to our last turret. So I have 30-second minion of a respawn timer, and the enemy is able to just push up to the tower. I have a bit more HP right now, which is okay, but I still will not be able to sustain against Meltzar ultimate.
Nothing will stop me. Lavish brutality.
So I'm giving a bit of grief of Leona, which is actually quite normal. You see this a lot when things aren't going so well. People stop really focusing on the game, and they just start focusing on blaming other people. It's actually pretty bad because you put down your team morale, and you just allow your team to become mad on each other. So we get a pretty good engage there. However, we're not able to make a difference. Though Meltzar flashes over, forgetting that I still have my stun and E-op, and I'm able to quickly close the distance. Stun him, meaning his ultimate gets dropped, and I'm quickly able to take him down with the help of Graves. Graves picks up the assist, and we're able to push up the wave until we reach the inner base. Seeing as I'm not ranged, I stay back and protect them for when Nasus comes. So we're able to push up at least one turret, and the top turret is also pushed forward. So right now Cyan will be moving top, and it's our task to maybe change either a diversion, or we should try and pick up Dragon, which is already down. So there's no advantages for us to be made right now, only Baron, but seeing as the enemy team is up completely, that's not a viable option. So I noticed that I'm around 860, and I need about 100 gold to pick up my Sunfire Cape, 50 to be like exactly, and I just take one creep wave, one ghost recall to get my Sunfire Cape. Afterwards I will definitely be moving towards mid, seeing as the enemy team is gathering there. So I pick up my Sunfire Cape, increasing my damage a bit. However, I do think that my main weakness right now is my lack of magic resistance. So the next item I'm going to build is either Spirit Visage or Banshee's Veil.
Lavish brutality.
Most likely Spirit Visage, just because my Q gives me a lot of health regen, and it will help me increase it. Also, the cooldown reduction is also very nice, seeing as Renekton is primarily a skill-based champion. I call for going top, however the enemy team moves towards the red buff, and I really want to be there for the team fight. So I move there, and we use down the ultimate and a lot of flashes, so I'm not really sure if it's worth it. However, we are able to take down the enemy mid, meaning we get a kill for losing a turret, which isn't that good, but seeing as we're quite equal right now, this exchange could definitely have been worse for us. So I use the ultimate just to sustain a bit, stay a bit in the back, because I'm now getting really low. I move towards ghosts, just because I might be able to grab some extra HP on him. Okay, so I reached level 60, allowing me to get a better ult. However, right now we're a bit on the run. So I call for Graves to go top, just because I'm pretty much highest health around here right now, and I just want to be able to defend the mid turret, but it seems like the enemy team is going for Baron.
Your turret has been destroyed.
So I take a look. Yeah, I noticed that they're doing it, and they did it before I'm able to do anything. I didn't have ult, so I definitely would not have been able to do anything about it. However, if only one or two people are doing it, you can always try and deal some damage on it. So Leona does have a point, as I should not have built the Vampiric Scepter, but instead built either magic resist or some HP. But after my first build, I'm now building really tanky. So I am hoping to bring a bit more to the table. And I'm reaching about 680 gold, which isn't enough yet for my Megatron cloak, which costs 720. So I just try to stay around here. I notice that I'm only 20 gold short, and I decide that if I go back right now, I should be able to buy my Megatron cloak when I recall. So I just have to wait for 3 gold and then buy my Megatron cloak, move towards mid lane. We were in front for most of the time, but now we're definitely behind. But at least I've been able to increase my magic resistance by 4. So I move back into lane, and we notice that our big friend Nasus is overextended. We quickly take him down, and with him taken down, we are quite stronger again, even though the enemy team has Baron buff. So we decide to push the enemy mid lane in the hopes of reaching the enemy base and perhaps siege it a bit. Our problem though is that we only have lead champions and Graves. And even though Graves is a very strong AD carry, his late range is pretty low, so we probably won't be able to get a lot of damage out without risking Meltzar ulting our AD carry. So we don't really want that, so instead we transition top in the hope that we're able to reach it sooner than enemy team. So I move on the other side of the tower just to try and slow them and allow us to pick up the turrets. So I call for our team to go back, seeing as we've lost a lot of HP, and the enemy Nasus sure isn't going to take long to spawn again. So we take a tower, the last inner tower. Not a bad trade, however we're still behind a lot. So I have to make a very difficult decision. I'm not going to build, I'm going to sell my Vampiric Scepter and instead go for a Spirit Visage, allowing me to pick up the Kindle gem and having a couple of gold extra, but nothing I can really spend right now. So I sold my Vampiric Scepter just because the laning phase was really short. Both me and Renekton and Nasus definitely played very aggressive early on, moved the other lanes, and both pushed down the turret. As a result, I'm not really, I don't really need HP, I mean lifesteal right now. I just need the possibility to sustain in lane. Right now the enemy team is very magic based ability power, and as a result, I have to build really tanky, seeing as Renekton himself isn't really tanky out of for magic resist. So I pick up wolves just to get some extra farm. I'll be needing 200 gold for my Spirit Visage, which will allow me to pick up a bit more HP and also just increase my magic resist and HP. So again we're able to pick up Nasus, but it seems like Nasus was just trying to bait us in, which he does very proficiently. So right now we're losing about 3 or 4 people. And the enemy team is able to quickly move towards our central base. Leona is being a little bitch, so I'm just going to ignore him. Yeah, it's just so toxic for people to talk so much crap about people, and it's really not pleasing for the game. Sure, I could have played better, however, he definitely should not be so grievous to other people. Seeing as I still have 12 seconds on my spawn timer, we'll probably lose this game. Pretty much GG. So yeah, I could have definitely played better there. I should have built tanky early on. However, we lacked range, and as a result